Hi, my name is Kayla, and for my term paper, I am doing the evaluation of an apartment complex. So this paper's focus is on the evaluation of a luxurious apartment complex called Seaview Villas, which is located in Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles, California. This neighborhood has quite the representation and is considered to be one of the best places to live in California. It's located in between some of the most well-known parts of Los Angeles, such as Beverly Hills, Malibu, and Santa Monica, which makes this such a desired place to live. This apartment complex consists of 27 units, and each unit is a three-bedroom apartment, and it's located right on the beachfront. And the monthly rent is $20,000 to $25,000 per month, which makes this apartment quite expensive. Therefore, this paper will be determining if this price is justified or if it is overpriced. My initial hypothesis is that this is actually overpriced for what you're getting, but through this paper and through a valuation, we will be proving, or this paper will show if that is correct or not. So in order to do a complete valuation of this paper, I will be using real estate appraisal methods and common financial methods in order to provide a complete valuation of this paper. So to the right, I have included a picture of where the apartment is actually located. As you can see, it is right on the beach and the mountains in the back. It is considered one of the top places to live in Los Angeles because of this reason, and it is very beautiful. So let's get started. Um, so at first glance, this apartment may seem justifiable to some people who are familiar with the Los Angeles area because of where it's located and because of what you're getting, and it is right on the beach. So people might just take the price as is and not question it. However, I believe this to be overpriced. So in order to prove if this is wrong or right, I will be comparing it to other rental properties and other homes that are in the same neighborhood, Pacific Palisades, and comparing it to the Seaview Villas. To the right, I have included a picture of the actual villas, and it consists, as previously mentioned, 27 units, and all apartments are forward facing to the beach. So this is a very big plus for this complex. And this also is an inside of the apartment. As you can see, it is very nice and has the typical desired beach California home feel. But before getting started, it's important to mention that there are some limitations that come with my paper. The first limitation of this paper is that there is a lack of previous research on this topic. There's no research that evaluates the rental properties in Los Angeles or luxurious rental properties in Los Angeles. So I don't really have anything to compare it and add to this research. However, I don't believe this to be a significant limitation for my paper because since it is evaluation, this paper will be more heavily dependent on numbers and facts and statistics of the area rather than actual literature. With that being said, my second limitation is that since it is dependent on more numbers, there could be a difference in the price that is listed online for properties versus the prices that it's actually renting for. In order to complete this valuation, I'm comparing it to other properties in the area by looking online at other houses and apartments in the area. However, the price that's listed online could be different than what it's actually renting for, which could result in a gap in the valuation that could be slightly different than what it is in the actual market. So that's important to notice. And it's also important to note that rental prices are not fixed and set in stone. So what a certain property is going for today, next week the rental price could increase or decrease. And therefore, by the time this paper is completed, the valuation of this apartment could be different from the future valuation of this apartment. So moving on, for this paper, so in order to collect data for this valuation, I started off at a broad level. I collected data that is about the rental prices of the average rental prices of Los Angeles, and I compared it to the average rental prices of this specific neighborhood. By doing this, I could see, is there an increase compared to the average? And there was an increase. And then I figured out, why is there increase? Why is this neighborhood considered to be so desired compared to other neighborhoods in Los Angeles? Additionally to this, I collected the average selling price of houses in this area. And the average selling prices of houses in this area is $3.9 million. So by doing this, I could calculate the mortgages that this neighborhood usually has. And by knowing the mortgages, I could know what people pay on the monthly basis for a house. And although this paper is talking about rental properties, it is important to know how much people are paying for an apartment versus a house to consider, is this property actually reasonably priced? In addition to this, I also found data that is comparing this apartment to other apartment complexes in the area that also have 3 bedrooms and also have an ocean view. This is really important. So it could be a fair comparison of the houses. And by doing this, I can get a direct comparison to see if this apartment is overpriced or not. All this information will tie in together in the end to give a complete, fair, and honest valuation of this apartment. Also, in order to do my evaluation, I will be using 2 different methods. My first method that I will use is called the sales comparison approach. And this approach is really popular amongst real estate agents because it is a appraisal method that is comparing properties directly to each other that are similar. And in this technique is considered to be pretty accurate for the value of nearby properties and comparing it to this property. The last method that I will be using to complete my valuation is called the revenue approach method, which will estimate the value of this property based on the potential generating income. So I will take the future generating income and discount it by the capitalization rate, which depends and differs depending on the market that it's in, to determine the actual value of this property. The revenue approach method is similar to the discounted cash flow DCF method that is commonly used in finance. So all this information and all this data will tie in together in the end to give me a correct valuation of the apartment. Based on what I have found so far, is that the average house home price for this area is $3.9 million, which is the average that these houses sell for in this area. So by doing this, I could calculate the mortgages that people pay for their houses. And a mortgage is basically the payment of the house broken down into a span of time. So if I bought a house for $3.9 million and I paid it for 30 years, this is the price that I would pay every month to eventually pay off my house. So this is a mortgage. And as mentioned before, the rent for this apartment complex is $25,000. So essentially, you are paying a mortgage to live in this apartment, which was my first indicator that this apartment is actually overpriced compared to what you could get in the area. So for the same price, you could be paying for your own home that has more space, and it is a single family home, meaning that it's not attached to an apartment. It's your own property and land. So this is my first indicator that it was overpriced. But through further valuations and through comparing it to other rental properties that offer the same thing, so other apartment complexes, I will be able to figure out if it is overpriced or if it is actually justified. But as of right now, my conclusion is that it is overpriced. So by the end of this paper, I will have all the numbers and data to prove if this is right or incorrect. Thank you for listening.